Hey Tui, it's time. Yeah, it is finally time for that video. The time has come, the Matt said, to talk of many things. Of shoes, of ships, of sealing wax, of cabbages, and... Okay, well, I was reciting poetry, but fine, I'll get to the point. Today we're unboxing the entire Alice in Wonderland 70th Anniversary Funko Pop Collection. It's almost a year in the making, but it's finally happening. Also, where is it? Welcome to Teacup for One. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. And like I said, this video is almost an entire year in the making. At the beginning of 2021, when Funko started to announce their lines and their collections for this year, one of the first collections that they announced was the Alice in Wonderland 70th Anniversary line. I did an entire video about how excited I was for them, and as soon as they were announced, I got my pre-orders in. Now, it took a couple of months for them to actually start releasing, and then on top of that, it took a couple of months for them to all make their way to me, and on top of that, Funko decided to make things extra fun by releasing all of these exclusives of characters that like you only had a minuscule chance of getting because they were exclusive to conventions or stores that don't ship friendly like to Canada, like Hot Topic. Don't get me started on Hot Topic. Sorry, I guess I'm just a little mad. Oh, but seriously, it's been a trek. But I managed to get almost the entire collection, or at least I managed to get my hands on all of the Alice in Wonderland pops that I wanted, which was almost the entire collection, save for one. I'll talk about that later. And I am so thrilled to bring you the ultimate Alice in Wonderland unboxing video that I've been waiting for months. I mean, I know at this point, for the Funko collectors, this is old news. You've already seen these figures, but maybe some of you haven't. Maybe some of you just want to like share in my joy, and that's what this video is for. Plus, with the holidays coming up, maybe you have an Alice in Wonderland fan who doesn't collect Funkos. This could be their gateway mushroom. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the collection. Now, I would be remiss, I don't even know what that word means. I would be remiss to do an entire video about the Alice in Wonderland 70th Anniversary Collection without starting with the title character, Alice herself. So there are a couple different Alice figures that have released as a part of this collection, but first we're going to start off with the common and the most basic figure, Alice Curtsying. Now, is this the most basic and, dare I say, boring figure in the collection? Yes, but there's also a lot of stuff that's great about it, especially when you compare it to Funko's original Alice figure. They re-released it last year as part of the Disneyland 65th Anniversary Collection. It was a Target exclusive, and I guess Funko wanted us to be nostalgic for when they first put out an Alice figure in like 2011 or 2012 or whatever, but just when you compare Funko's original Alice to this brand new Alice, it is a world of difference. And I think you can really appreciate just how far Funko has come with their designs and how they honor the characters in these pop figures. What I love about this Alice Curtsying figure is that we're really getting a standalone common pop that has the same vibrancy, the same character, and the same color palette that we saw with the Alice at the Mad Tea Party pop. I think part of the reason the Alice at the Mad Tea Party pop was so popular on its initial release, aside from the fact that she's in a teacup, and that's amazing, is that for the first time we were seeing an Alice pop with like the vibrant yellow hair, an Alice pop with the vibrant blue dress, and just an Alice pop that had personality versus this original pop figure, which, although cute, meh. And what I think is so great about this new figure is that it evokes the character in the same way that that Mad Tea Party pop did, but this is a common figure that's a lot more accessible and easy to get for just the casual Disney fan or Alice fan. But the Alice figures don't stop there. Something that Funko did with this entire line that I really love is that they've given us different variants of Alice, and this might be one of my favorites in the entirety of the collection. It's Alice, with bottle, specifically the Drink Me bottle. I mean, you wouldn't know that because they didn't put Drink Me on the tag. That's my one complaint. But aside from that, this figure is bleeping amazing. This is one of the best parts of Alice in Wonderland. I think the Drink Me bottle is one of the most iconic parts of the story, and this pop does it justice beautifully. Truthfully, I wasn't that interested in this figure when I just saw the 3D rendering, but when I saw it in person, my mind was blown. The detail on the bottle is incredible. I always love when Funko adds some kind of cool translucent element to a figure. I think it adds an incredible level of depth, and this bottle is stunning. So there are still 2 Alice variant pops that I don't have in the collection. One of them is Alice with flowers, and truthfully, I've had the opportunity to buy it. I've seen it in store, but it's at a bit of a higher price point, and I'm kind of particular about the movie moment pops or the bigger pops that are more like sculptures or dioramas, because they just take up so much space, and it is pretty, but it's not one that I need to have. But for example, if it were to show up in a mystery box, I would be thrilled. The other one, which is a figure that only recently I've really decided I want, is Alice falling down the rabbit hole. So this is a Target exclusive. To my knowledge, it is still available, but it's difficult to get stuff shipped from Target to Canada, so I'm holding out hope that I come across it eventually. Originally, I wasn't too keen on it because I don't like the suspended pops, the ones that look like they're flying or floating, but it would be so cool to take pictures of. So hopefully, sometime soon, Alice falling will join the collection. But for now, there are the Alices. Moving on. Alright, next up we have the Mad Hatter. So this figure is actually kind of similar to the Alice figure because Funko has done the Mad Hatter as a pop in the past, but it was way at the beginning when Funko was first starting the pop line, and it had that more basic design that didn't really evoke the character as much. Last year, when Funko released the Mad Hatter at the Mad Tea Party, that was the first time that we saw an updated sculpt and an updated design for the Hatter. So just like I said with Alice, I love that this figure is giving us that beautiful design and those vibrant colors in a standalone figure. Some specific things that I love about this pop, first of all, the hat. This is something that we saw last year with the Mad Hatter at the Mad Tea Party pop. The hat has so much breadth and so much weight to it, 100% worthy of the Mad Hatter. But the other thing that I love with this figure is that he's dipping his saucer into the tea. That's such a quick, subtle moment from the animated film, but it's so memorable and so funny, and I was thrilled to see that that was the pose that they picked for this figure. Plus the added detail of the tea actually spilling out of the cup. It's cute to look at in person, but since my big priority is just taking pictures of the pops, it photographs phenomenally. The first time I took a picture of the Mad Tea Party Hatter, I remember looking back at the images and just thinking, it looks like tea is actually being spilled. And we know that's what I'm all about here. Next up in the set, we have the March Hare. And can I just say, I love that they did the March Hare as a pop figure. To me, that is what really ties this entire collection together as a set, as a collection. I mean, not just the March Hare. Other characters we'll get into as well. But when it comes to Alice in Wonderland, there are those key characters that Disney really pushes at the forefront of their merchandising, like Alice, like the Mad Hatter, like the Queen of Hearts. But just to see a character like the March Hare as a part of this line, it is so cool, because it's not a Mad Tea Party without the March Hare. Without the March Hare, it's just a Mad Teacup, for one. But aside from the fact that I'm just happy he exists, this pop has all the same level of detail and vibrancy that I love from the previous figures in the collection. Something that really stood out to me with this figure was looking at him against the Hatter pop. I realized for the first time that the two of them are wearing identical outfits in different colors. I mean, they were basically doing like the Dumb and Dumber tuxedo thing decades before Dumb and Dumber. And if that's not true friendship, I don't know what is. And next, Her Majesty herself, the Queen of Hearts. So, in some ways, the Queen of Hearts was kind of the least exciting figure in the collection, not because the figure and the character are not amazing, but because unlike Alice and the Mad Hatter, we have seen a standalone Queen of Hearts figure relatively recently. There was a really beautiful Hot Topic exclusive figure that was released, I don't know the year, it was long enough ago that I still haven't been able to get her for myself, but it's the Queen of Hearts, angry, holding a flamingo croquet mallet, and then she came with a little buddy hedgehog. Seriously, I want that figure so badly. But in terms of design, character, color scheme, all the stuff that I said we hadn't seen previously with Alice and the Hatter, that was the first figure that gave us a more updated Queen of Hearts. So this is really just continuing that legacy, if you will. What I think is cool about this figure is that it's showing us the calmer and, dare I say, more terrifying side of the Queen of Hearts. With that Hot Topic figure, it's the Queen like having a full-out temper tantrum, but I think the Queen of Hearts is at her like most terrifying when she is being regal and trying to be calm. So having her in this pose terrifies me, and I love it. But I think obviously we can all agree that the main appeal with this figure is not the Queen, but the Buddy. And if you're new to Funko collecting, every once in a blue moon, Funko will release a figure like this that's a normal 3.5-inch pop, but it will come with a little sidekick, or a buddy figure. And in this case, it's the King of Hearts. Look at how tiny and cute he is. Oh, I'm amazed I haven't lost him yet. And they pair together so well. Look. Boop. Okay, another character I never expected to see as a pop figure. The White Rabbit. This bunny is so magical. Just all the stuff I've already talked about, the detail, the character design. But this was kind of a pleasant surprise for me because when you're looking at this figure on the website, you're really only looking at him from the front. Now that I actually have the figure, there is so much detail on his pocket watch. His pocket watch has a full face. You can see all the numbers. You can see that it's 5 o'clock. I don't know why that time is relevant, but apparently 5 o'clock is when the rabbit's late, so that's cool. And this is such a small thing, but I adore his ears. Now, hear me out. Pun not intended, but I'm running with it. So first of all, the ears, obviously they're adorable, but I just love the energy of them because, like, they're perked straight up. This is such an anxious character, and I think his ears are just conveying that stressful energy that he has. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but when you compare the White Rabbit to the other Lepority in the collection, the March Hare, the March Hare's ears are much more droopy and they're conveying a much more laid-back attitude compared to the White Rabbit. And you know, that's the thing that just keeps me coming back to collecting Funkos. They do such a brilliant job of not just evoking the character design, but also the energy and the personalities, and I love this bunny. Okay, this next set, it entertains me so much. The fact that it exists the way that it exists. It is Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And it's the exact same bleeping figure. The only difference is that this one is pointing to his right, this one is pointing to his left. Like I've said before, I don't know how Funko Pops are made, but I think it involves designing it on a computer, then 3D printing it. We're all paying for a 2-set of the exact same figure that's just been copied, pasted, and flipped, and there it is. And the reason that I love this is because it's just so... it's so true to who these characters are. They're identical in every way. It's the gimmick, it's the ploy, and there it is. And even though it is the exact same pop, just copied and pasted, if you just had one of them, it wouldn't have the energy, it wouldn't have the charm. They're a package deal, so it makes sense that they came as a package deal. But it does get me to thinking, what would have happened if Funko literally just released one of these guys in a normal sized box, and it was the exact same figure, but they just changed the label to say Tweedledum or Tweedledee? How many people would make the effort to collect both? Or actually, no, you know what Funko would probably do? Funko would release like Tweedledum, and then Tweedledee would be the chase. The only thing that would be different would be the box and the sticker. And I would be one of those people going out of my mind to try to get both of them. So, all that said, I'm glad they came as a 2-pack. I should also point out that one of the first productions I ever acted in was Alice in Wonderland, and I played Tweedledum. So even though I said these figures are identical, this one is slightly better. Alright friends, it's the moment we have all been waiting for. It's the Cheshire Cat Pop! Okay, no lie, no surprise. I'm a cat person. I'm a Disney person. The Cheshire Cat is one of my favorite Disney cats, if not favorite Disney characters. The stakes were high for this pop, and he did not disappoint at all. Now, one of the reasons that I say that the Cheshire Cat at the Mad Tea Party is one of my favorite pops is because, yes, it's very on brand for me. Disney, Cat, Teacup, Funko, it checks all the boxes. But the thing that stood out to me when I first saw that figure was the sculpt of the face. It had the iconic Cheshire Cat grin, it had the eyes, it had the color scheme, similar to what I already said about the Alice and the Hatter Funko Pops. Yes, it was a character that Funko had done before, but that design was stylized to a point that it kind of lost the character and the quirk and the personality of the cat that we all know and love. But Cheshire Cat at the Mad Tea Party was a limited edition figure of only 2,000 pieces. Not to brag, but a little bit to brag. But not to sound like a broken record, the thing that is so amusing about this figure, same as I said about Alice and the Mad Hatter, we finally have a common figure that's just making this beautiful design accessible to everyone. And when I say beautiful design, I mean the face. The cat body is so clever. I was sort of hoping that Funko would one day do a figure of the cat when he's saying, "Can you stand on your head?" But this is a pretty good runner-up. Alright, so those were all the common pops. Now we are moving into the convention exclusive pops. The ones that Funko released, just knowing that people would want to complete this beautiful Alice in Wonderland set, and knowing that they wanted to make it just that much more challenging for us. So the first figure we are looking at is the Walrus and the Carpenter. So this was a set that was released as part of the 2021 summer convention. I lucked out because they did have a shared retailer in Canada, which was Chapters/Indigo. So this is probably the first time ever in my Funko collecting career where I've been able to get an exclusive pop from a shared retailer on release day. I've said so many times on the channel that one of my favorite things when Funko does lines like this is when they pay tribute to more obscure characters from fandoms or from films. And when it comes to obscure characters, the Walrus and the Carpenter just take the cake, or eat the baby oysters. So, similar to the Queen of Hearts, this is actually a pop and buddy set. The main pop being the Walrus, and the buddy being the Carpenter. And I just need to take a moment to gush about the Carpenter buddy. So, I am always here for a pop and buddy set. You're getting 2 pops for the price of 1. But buddies are usually more insignificant side characters. There's something cute and cuddly. Usually it's an animal. This Carpenter buddy is more detailed than some full-sized Funko Pops. Everything from the hammer to the nails in the wood that he's holding, even just his hair and his outfit. I mean, this figure is outstanding. I love that he's slightly bigger than a typical buddy, but he's still slightly smaller than a regular Funko Pop. Really, he is the perfect companion to the Walrus. I don't care about these characters, but I love these figures so much. And our next exclusive, the Caterpillar. So this was released, I think, as part of Emerald City Comic-Con, and he was also shared with Hot Topic, and trying to get him really made me not like Hot Topic, but I've spoken about that before. It did make me very much appreciate Chalice Collectibles. Check them out. But let's just talk about this figure. This figure is pretty special because he was the first pop that was released in the entire Alice in Wonderland collection. Yes, the rest of the common figures had been announced months prior, but this was the first one to actually land in stores. And once I saw him in person, I knew we were in for an absolute treat with this entire line. Just looking at the sculpt of his mouth and the sassy little expression on his lips, alongside the vibrancy of the colors, and I love what they did with the eyes. This is something that I think Funko has started to do with more recent figures. Yes, every Funko Pop sort of has that set standard of having those round eyes sort of indented or outdented, but depending on how they paint the eyes, it can bring out so much expression and personality. So because they only have like the lower half of the eyes colored in, it's really giving this squinting impression like the Caterpillar is judging you. And this isn't necessarily something that's new. Funko has done this with previous figures, but it just works so well with this Caterpillar. I know some people were annoyed that this figure wasn't holding the pipe, but the sassiness of the arms and the expression in each one, that more than makes up for it for me. Whew! Okay, friends. There it is. The Funko Pop Alice in Wonderland 70th Anniversary Collection in all of its beauty and glory. But wait! I got one more for you. Dare I call it the grand finale? Huh? I think we all know what's coming. Ready? It's the 10-inch Cheshire Cat! Of course I got this. Of course I got this. Look how big he is. Okay, I haven't casually taken him out of the box to look at him yet. I've been waiting for this Meowman. So, let's share this together. I just realized this is like the first true unboxing in this video. Look, I'm unboxing. He's smiling at me. Oh, this is almost as big as my head. I love him so much. Oh yeah, I forgot to say all the stuff. 10-inch figure, Wal-Mart exclusive. How could you not love this? I mean, everything that I said earlier that I love about the new Cheshire Cat sculpt, it's that times 10. Now, when I first saw that this was announced, I knew I was going to get it because, obviously, giant Cheshire Cat. I wasn't sold on the design that they went for with the body because, like, the tail is obstructing most of his cat body. Now that I see it in person, I feel a little bit better about it, but just when you see the art, you just see, like, stripes and hands. Like, I can see the anatomy, the cat-tummy of the cat a lot better, especially from behind. Like, you see his little cat butt and his tail. So cute. Now, I still would have preferred if they came up with a design where you were able to see a little bit more of the cat body and the tail was off to the side or maybe outstretched behind him. But now that I see it, I suspect that they had to work with certain parameters for how big the figure could be, and they wanted the tail to be at its full size and at its full breadth. So for that reasoning, I can see why they have the tail wrapping around his body, but I don't know, I still would have liked to see, you know, his cat belly with the tail maybe behind him, or to the side, or extending up next to him, but I don't work for Funko. But I could. But again, the main cattraction with this figure is the beauty of his face. It's doing justice to that beautiful Cheshire Cat grin, and I think what's extra special about this figure is that if the Cheshire Cat were a real, living, breathing entity, this is probably roughly the size that he would be. I just think that's wonderful. So there you have it, friends. The entire Alice in Wonderland 70th Anniversary Funko Pop Collection. Minus those two Alices, but don't worry about them. Just looking at these figures, I think Funko has absolutely outdone themselves with this entire line. I think all of these figures are a stunning tribute to some of Disney's most wacky, memorable, and colorful characters, and I'm just really happy to have them in my collection. So with that said, this concludes yet another episode of Teacup for One. So let me know in the comment section down below which one of these pops was your favorite, and who is your favorite Alice in Wonderland character. And if you want to be the first to know when I release more videos about Disney, Funko Pops, Shakespeare, sometimes cats, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. If you haven't subscribed already, it is so easy. All you have to do is click on my face. Thanks for joining me again today, everyone. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and that's the Teacup for One. We're all mad here.